Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of Across the Hobby, where today I'm going to look at all of the major auctions ending from today, December 30th, all the way through January 5th. That's next Monday, January 25th, or January 5th of 2025. I can't believe we have to start saying that. 2025. 2024 is almost over. Crazy. I'm your host, Adam. Thanks to those of you who have made this part of your weekly routine. I love doing this show, and I love going through all the auctions. I love all the comments that I've been getting both here on YouTube, but also directly like DMing me through Instagram. Would encourage anybody, if you have any questions or thoughts on cards, make them public. Put them in the chat here. That's better than the ones that I've been getting directly. If I had my druthers, that's how I'd have you do it. If you don't feel comfortable with that and you want to send me a message directly, that's totally fine. But I would prefer it if you'd send them to me just directly onto the YouTube channel. All right, with all that said, let's get straight to it this week. We don't have a lot of stuff going on this week as far as auctions, but what we have is maybe the best week of the year or one of the best weeks of the year where we can have maybe some good deals. This happens every year where you have basically far fewer items being sold during this during this week, and that's because people don't want to lose money on Christmas sales and end of year sales. A lot of people are spending time with their families. A lot of people who are normally looking at auctions aren't. So if you're somebody who's a deal hunter, this may be the week for you. All right, let's start out today with MC Sports Cards. MC Sports Cards has quite a few. You can see cards that are ending tonight. On their weekly, their MC Mondays weekly auction. The next one that they have, I believe, is their monthly auction, which will end in not 7 days from now, but in 14 days from now. And there's some big cards going up in that one that I know about, but we'll hold off on that for right now. Let's look at this week right now. This card right here might be my favorite card of the whole week. In fact, I put it number 1 on my top 10 list for items this week at MC Sports Cards. And I'll tell you why I like it so much. This is one of the earliest autograph cards of the autograph era. You know, we started seeing autograph cards in the early 90s come in packs. I don't know actually how these promo cards were disseminated into the hobby. What I do know, or into the marketplace, I should say, what I do know is that it's very easy to miss because it's along the top here where it says, see where it says just right above Macho Man's head, there's this autographed and then a serial number. So not only is it from 1994, really the beginning of the autograph era, but it's serial numbered as well. And then the autograph right here, right onto the foil, action packed, was usually an embossed type card, slightly embossed, not like Playmakers Theater embossed, but like a bigger front of the card. And I don't know if it, looking back, I don't remember if you can see the emboss on the opposite side of the card always. It doesn't look like you can see anything here. Memory serves, there's sort of like 2 layers to the card, like 2 pieces of cardboard. So maybe like you don't see the embossed here because it's only on the front half of the card. The front half is embossed, and so the back isn't. I need to look back and see it in hand. What I do know, not a common card. One of the cards of the era as far as wrestling cards goes. And if you're a big wrestling collector, you obviously love Macho Man, but you don't see big autographs like this show up very often. So one of my favorite cards of the auction for sure. Really nice Caitlin Clark. Every time I see a Muhammad Ali autograph from the Master Collection, I think it's really cool. And, oh, you know what? I didn't really even notice this Brady. Man, I love this Brady. This should have gone on my top 10 list this week for sure. I love this card. So 2004, you're right toward the beginning of Brady's career and in an era that he did not sign very many autographs. This being from Leaf Limited. Leaf Limited did a lot of cool things. Packs were really expensive. What they didn't really have in Leaf Limited was great branding. Exquisite really nailed the branding in basketball. In football and for other brands, they just didn't get the names of these types of sets right. And so a lot of these through the years haven't become as beloved as they should be. This one is just called Limited Cuts. but it's a patch autograph. And I think if we turn around here on the back, maybe I'm mistaken. I thought we'd see some sort of language indicating that the patch was from a game, but there's nothing there. Unless I'm missing something. Let's look at the front here. The front gives us this that says just Leaf limited cuts. And then it says authentic signature, but the patch doesn't tell us, or the card doesn't tell us anything about the patch. Well, what I'd love to do on this card is I'd love to do some research and understand if there's anything else to it. Because usually, even if a patch isn't game used, there's some descriptor. But in this case, the only thing that we're getting on the whole card is this little thing that says authentic signature. Did this originally come with a certificate of authenticity that's on the outside of the card? We saw Upper Deck do that a lot. But what I would highlight, other than all this sort of other stuff that I've already talked about now, is this is a great looking card. The autograph on the patch is great looking. It is a little bit more sort of like fading into the sides than you'd like to see, like fading across, like away from the direct line, but it doesn't bother me. This isn't one that bothers me. Some of these get really fadey. This is 20 years old, right? It probably looked like this 15 years ago, honestly. I think this is probably where the autograph lands. I don't know for sure, but I would guess this is similar to how it will look in another 10 years. I can't say that for sure, but that's a great looking early Brady auto, and one that I can't say I've seen before. The pair of these are fun. You don't get Mantle and Griffey on either card combined, but you get each one of them. You'd like to see the Mantle sell for way more, and that's what's happening here. A lot of people have purchased this card and then had Griffey sign it to make it like the duel that also came in packs. If I remember right, there's 1,000 Mantles, 1,000 Griffies, and then 1,000 duels. So 3,000 total across the 3 different variations. And the Griffey Mantle is obviously the most expensive. Really nice Ohtani here. One of my old cards. This is one of the cards that I am selling to pay for the 2 big cards that I purchased recently. This is the Harry Draco duel is interesting for a few different reasons. One is that Draco doesn't have very many autographs, or Tom Felton, I should say, doesn't have very many autographs across the Art Box series. He has one that's a standalone, but this is pretty easily his best card here alongside Daniel Radcliffe, the actor that played Harry Potter. One of these sold, I saw this not that long ago. I should remember. I think one of these sold a PSA 7 holder for like $4,000. But what we've seen on these Harry Potter cards is that a lot of the autographs that are PSA graded are selling for way, way more than their counterparts. So this is one of those that might provide you a good arbitrage opportunity if you are somebody who wants to just crack and grade, spend that 25 or 50 bucks or whatever it is to send it to PSA, and then, get this. And then, if it gets a 7 or a 7.5, you're looking at likely 2x what this is at right now. But that's the thing that's hard about that is Harry Potter stuff's thinly traded. It's hard to know what it's going to sell for. Is it going to sell for as much as it sold for last time? Is it going to sell for more? Is it going to sell for less? It's like a lot of cards. So for me, the main sell here is if you were looking at like the great dual autos from the Art Box series, there's really only a few that really stand out. There's the triple. Okay, so as far as multi-autographs, there's the triple, which is the card of Harry Potter with the actors that play Harry, Ron, and Hermione. There's less than 100 of those in existence. I have one, and it's one of my favorite cards in my whole collection. And that's one reason why I'm sort of willing to let this one go. You also have the quad auto that has the four Triwizard champions and their autographs and their pieces from their costumes. And there's fewer than 100 of those that are produced, and that sells for way less, like way less than the triple. The triple's like a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 card. That quad is like $5,000, $6,000, $4,000, $8,000, something like that. And then you have this group of duels, and all the duels that are really big cards in the Harry Potter series, they all feature Daniel Radcliffe. There's this one. And this one's the best looking of the group, and arguably the best one. I would say it's the best one, except for the one that has Harry and Sirius. It's not nearly as good looking as this card is. I do think it's rarer, and I do think that combination speaks to people because of the connection between those two characters in the show. I have one of those, and I elected to keep it and to sell this one. I think this one's probably the more popular card. I think Tom Felton's a more popular character than Sirius, but Sirius sells really well too. He is also really popular. And again, I think that card is rare. This card is also really rare though. I don't know if there's an estimated population on it. It might be like 100. I know I paid way more for it than it's going to sell for. That is for sure. This is one that that I looked for a long time to get, and it's sitting at a really low amount, and I don't think it's going to get back to what I paid for it. I really don't, based on what the one PSA sold for, which is about what I paid for mine. But I don't think that it's going to sell for as much because again, the PSA graded ones have had a lot of premium. So, but I needed to sell some stuff because I bought some good stuff. So I hope that one goes to a big time Harry Potter collector. This Kobe is interesting because it's from the second year of NT, 2010, 2011. Really an iconic look on this card. One of the years of NT that looks the most different. This, I believe, I'm not 100%, but I believe this is actually a parallel of Kobe's base card. The serial number here looks a little bit, oh yeah, it looks normal. It just looked weird from this like sort of outside view. But if you zoom in, it looks basically like you'd expect it to look. You got the 24 logo here. The patch is really an incredible patch. This is the sort of card that I would want to get into a holder. We want to get into a PSA or a BGS holder because the patch is so nice. You sort of look at that and go, gosh, am I sure that that patch hasn't been switched out? And that's something you should ask with every single significant, like really neat patch. This is a really neat patch. And so that's the first thing that sort of comes to my mind. I'm not an expert on that. What I know is this is as nice of a patch auto of Kobe from this era as you're probably going to find. It's a playing days card. I love the sticker. Love that it's out of 25. Love that it's on card. And love that it's NT. It's one of my favorite cards of the day for sure. Really cool Mahomes. Gotta love this Griffey patch auto. Don't miss this one. It's a significant patch right here. What is that? It looks like maybe like a K. Seattle Mariners. Where would that be from? Or maybe that's from right off of where the star is. The Mariners little star thing. I don't know. What I do know is that's what it is. It's like from the star at Mariners. Griffey's autograph is just glorious. And you get nervous when there's that patch window where people can, like, their pen can get stuck in there and really mess it up. Griffey just barely stays inside here, probably misses it by about 1 millimeter, but he misses it, and the autograph looks phenomenal. Is the autograph graded a 10? It's not. I think it should be. Maybe they penalized it because it goes over the foil, but they shouldn't. I don't think that the autograph should be penalized for where they go unless it causes some sort of obstruction. Like if it got into the rut of the patch, I would not like that. In this case, I love it. I think it's a great looking card. Duel here with Admiral. If you're a big time Spurs fan, that's really a pretty cool card. This Jamar Chase. One thing I'll point out on this one, we always talk about this on some of these types of cards. The enclosed authentic memorabilia is not from any specific game or event. The autograph is guaranteed. So this autograph is obviously legit and real and exactly what you want. And it's on card too, it looks like, which is really cool for a shiny type card. And obviously you can see it's the gold vinyl type pattern. But this is from the Panini, is it called Blockchain? Panini 1. Oh, it's not. It doesn't say Blockchain. It looks like a blockchain card to me. Formula 1. I don't know. I guess I didn't know that Panini 1 had, it's not Panini 1 and 1. Panini 1, I guess, has this gold vinyl look to it. But the really neat patches that are on here aren't from a game used jersey. It is really cool looking. It is a 1 of 1. It does have the rookie logo. It has an on-card autograph. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. Just not game used on the patch. Really great looking Brady. Let's see how the autograph looks. Autograph's graded a 10, which by PSA is kind of a big deal. Unfortunately, one of the biggest travesties we have in our hobby is that PSA does not have a good pop report for autograph grades. I would love to know how many 10 autographs Brady has of that card. It's not a big number. Most of them are not 10s. The card's not graded. Let's look back real quick. Can we see why they just authenticated the card? Card looks pretty slick, actually. What am I missing? I wonder if could it be less big? Is it not quite the size it needs to be? Is it too short? Those are the questions that you're left asking on a card like this. You'd like more detail. The autograph itself, though, is just exactly what you want. So I would not buy this thinking, oh, for sure it will get into a holder. Although or into a numeric grade, if you could get into a numeric grade, that would be great. But you do get the numeric grade on the autograph, which is literally perfect. I love that card. Pele autos are always cool. Oh man, this Neymar is sweet looking. A Jordan Fleer in a 5. Nice MJ autograph, ungraded. I love this Rodman right here. The only thing I'll say about this Rodman is it's from the black box. That's got that 1/1 sticker on here. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's going to be really a huge card, because I don't think we've seen this card from the original 1/1 sell very many times. We really haven't. We have not seen it sell a ton. So seeing it pop up, I was pretty excited about it. But it's not from that set. It's from the black box set, which is a 1/1. So you sort of get to ask yourself the question, would you rather have the original that's numbered to, gosh, what's it numbered to? 99 or is it 49 or something like that? The original Rodman auto out of the first year of 1/1 with this big silver auto, and Rodman just fully horizontal going for that board or that loose ball. Would you rather have the regular version of that or the 1/1 black box? I would rather have the regular version. I would. But there are collectors that definitely want the 1/1, right? They want the thing that's different than anybody else. I want the card that came out of the original product. With that said, maybe even though this is a 1/1, it sells for less than the original does, because people are set collectors and people want the original. I'm not sure. It's already at $2,100. Rodman's big autographs like this have seen a serious bump lately. It's not shocking to see it at a big number. And he's had a number of other cards that are like exquisite autographs that are higher numbered, that are like $4,000 and $5,000. So it's not surprising to see it there. Nice Kobe autograph. This Jamar Chase is a really cool looking card. This Shea I almost put on my top 10 list because I love the immaculate acetate look. I left it off because it's the premium edition. But the thing that I love about the premium edition is that it just sells for such a huge discount. You take off premium edition. Well, if you take off premium edition, then this card would basically be his immaculate acetate RPA. And then it would be numbered to his jersey number, which would be numbered to 2. And then it would be many, many thousands of dollars. So, you can't just say if I took off the premium collection, but the premium collection sort of connotates, I think it was like a first off the line thing. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's not like the main one, and that's what hurts it. People they want to feel like they're getting the main one, the cool thing. But what it is like a legit RPA that's really rare, that's gorgeous, right? The fact that it's the immaculate acetate RPA, like it's one of the best looking cards that they make every year. It's got all of that going for it. It's just not as rare or the original sort of like immaculate acetate RPA. It's not the original sort of thing. It's got that different sort of connotation with it. It is still SGA though. Guy could be winning a championship this year. Really neat Trout Griffey duel. Have to look at this one up close because those patches are awesome. The autographs are on card. And then if you scroll in, I want to just see, do we see a serial number anywhere here? It says 3 of 5 in the listing, so it's there somewhere, right in the middle. Right in the middle. It's one of those that you just, once you see it up close, it's obvious, but I missed it there. It's a big card for baseball collectors. Big card. $2,600 already. Alperen Sengun has some big cards moving right now. And it's at several auction houses. And I think what's happening is people are like, man, this guy's really good. Let's cash out. It's interesting, though, because he's really good. And people always sort of think, maybe this guy's in a hot spot right now. Maybe it's time to sell. Houston's legit. Like, Houston this year is going to be a playoff team. Houston's going to be a tough out for anybody. They are big, tough. They've got these vets that are tough. They've got these young guys who want it. Sengun is just a handful in the middle of the floor. This is his NTRPA out of 99. It's a 9.5. I don't know what the pop is. It'd be worth looking at that. This is the prolific main RPA that everybody goes gaga for every year, numbered to 99. It's not one of the variations. Some people don't want the variations. They want the original. This is it. And it's in a great grade. It's got a really strong patch. with how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers and 3 colors. It's got a lot going for it. But the fact that he has so many cool things ending, it's worth looking around a little bit and asking, how good do I think this guy's going to be? Right now, he's putting up 19 and almost 11 a game. On the Rockets, they're winning like 65% of their games. Caitlin Clark autograph. Love to see it in the Iowa jersey. Autographs obviously on a sticker. I love this Wade Shack, not only because it's Eminence and because I love Eminence, but because this was a combination of two guys that won the Heat's first championship, right? Dwayne Wade was he a second year or third year player? Was it 2005 or 2006? I think it was 05. Anyway, he helped Shaq get his last championship, or Shaq helped Wade get his first championship and one of 3 with the Miami Heat. It's a neat combination, one that really makes a lot of sense. 2 of the best 20 to 25 plus players of all time. Serial number 4 out of 5. It's beautiful. Whenever we see a big star MJ like this, we have to stop and go, ooh, that's interesting. Right? This one's a BGS 8, graded fairly recently. Interesting, the edges got a grade of an 8. You can see, first thing you see on this one is there's this white right here. I'll bet the rest of the edges are virtually flawless. That seems like a pretty high grade to get with that little edge right there. With that said, the card besides that edge looks pretty much like you want it to. The centering grade of an 8 feels, I would say, a touch low. And the reason that I say that is that usually most star MJs, if you know the star MJ, you already know what I'm about to say. If you don't, let me show you. Most star MJs are bigger here on the right and thinner here on the left. This one left to right is about as good as you're going to find this card. Like I think the centering on this is really, really nice. Really nice. And then the ones that aren't this nice, usually top to bottom, are significantly off. Now, I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's not. But sometimes this white circle right here gets pretty close to the bottom edge. Like this bottom's really small and this top's really big. Again, to me, this is a top 10 to 20% centering copy for this card. I really do. I think it's really nice. So the fact that the centering is an 8, I feel is really low to me. I would personally say the centering here should be an 8.5 or a 9. But what do I know? They know a lot more than I do. The edge feels like it might be high, though, because that thing there is significant enough to see an 8. I wouldn't have been shocked to see that get a 7.5. So maybe the two things average out here. The corners and the surface, I can't really see anything on the surface. So 8.5, sure, it might be great or it might be low. It might be high. I don't know. The corners, 8.5. Maybe a little touch punitive. The only thing that's really that you notice here is this bottom left. A little bit of white. They all show white, though. The other 3 are really strong. It feels like it's probably the right grade despite the fact that it has this thing here. I also wonder if this thing here would show up significantly at all if it wasn't against the black background. Do you see anything on the back? Nada. 0. It's interesting. If you're looking for a Jordan star, there's certainly worse copies than that out there. All right. Tatum, RPA from Cornerstones. Don't see this one very much. Just get the 3 or 4 little pieces of jersey. The serial numbered out of 199. It's a high enough number that it probably isn't going to ever be a super crazy huge card. Still, Tatum, I've said it before, maybe a guy who's just hiding in plain sight. So young, already with the championship, already with all NBAs and such great accolades. I like Tatum a lot. Really a cool-looking ice Connor McDavid here. Some of the hockey cards that Upper Deck's made through the years are so good looking. Katie from the infamous 2016 year that gave us almost all black autographs. Numbered out of 10. You wish this was in holofoil, but again, in 2016, Flawless didn't do holofoil as much. They'd done it. They'd overdone it the previous years. Look at his autograph here. Just barely on card. Barely hangs on card. Autograph still graded a 9, though. It's old enough that that's back when they were grading 9s. I wonder why. I wonder if those little white parts in there are on the autograph or on the car or on the case. I think that one might be on the autograph. It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's so hard to tell. Would you rather have Kevin Durant stuff in a Thunder uniform or in a Warrior uniform? Those are the 2 best ones, right? It's definitely not the Nets, right? And so far it hasn't been the Suns. Obviously, there's the Sonics. You would definitely want that because that means it's a rookie card. But if you had to get Thunder or Warriors, which would you prefer? Let me know in the comments. This is a really neat looking Clark. Autographs on sticker, but really nice big patch. Card is licensed material, not associated with any player, game, blah, blah, blah. Caitlin has never played in or touched that thing. Gotta love this Brady. Going too slow. I gotta speed up here. Gotta love the Brady autograph from his rookie year. He doesn't have very many of those. Steph's Eminence. I put this as one of my favorites, and I wanted to do some research. I want to do some research on this one because I have a Steph Eminence autograph patch from 2014 Eminence, and that was the first year of Eminence. I collect first years of stuff. This is from 2021. I know they did one for Zion's rookie year in 2019. And I know that they did this year in 2021, and I know they did 2014. I could be wrong, but I think that's the only 3 years of Eminence. And I think that the one that I have, it's his only autograph patch from 2014. They only made one, which is kind of crazy because they did like 6 or 7 different autograph patch sets. Steph only appears in one of them. He has a couple of auto tags that are like 1-of-1 type cards and one that's a 1-of-2. But as far as auto patches go, in 2014, he just has one. And I wonder, this is what I was going to do on my research. I wonder for Panini's highest end product, did they do more than one Steph auto patch in those subsequent years? My guess is yes, they did because I've seen a few of them, but I don't know it. And I think one really interesting research project would be how many total autograph patches does Steph have out of Eminence? And then go compare that to like Flawless and National Treasures and Immaculate. I think what you might find there would be really interesting. Some cool soccer cards. I've taken too long, so I want to hurry through. Sengun, I actually like this one more than the NT. This is the black gold out of 5. I love this card. Gosh, how did I miss? Oh, this one's 7 days from now. So why are we getting stuff 7 days from now? Did I not even sort this? Gosh, I didn't even sort this, guys. I wonder if we talked about anything that is like not ending today. Let's double make sure. No, we talked about that. That ends today. Oh, this Brady ends in 7 days. So what I said about a week from now might be wrong about the monthly auction coming up. I may be mistaken on that. Let's see if there's anything else that I missed here. Nope, these are all ending today. This Connor McDavid is 7 days. Explains why I hadn't seen it. Steph is today. Sengun is today. This Beam team is next week. I'm not going to resort at this point. This is just all of the MC Monday stuff, though, including next week. So, really great looking Trout. Again, that's in 7 days. Jordan 9.5 in 7 days. Ooh, Chris Bosch, 2003 Noble nameplates next week as well. So a lot of big stuff ending next week. And that means I'm mistaken about next, maybe not mistaken. I thought that they were skipping the next week's weekly, but that's just because of my own stupidity. Because why would they? If they were going to skip any day, it would be today, right? It doesn't make sense that they would skip next week. All right, that is going to do it for, look at that Walter Johnson. Sorry. Let me just look at this real quick. That is a really great looking card. It has evidence of trimming. No wonder it looks so good. But it looks really nice. Obviously, this bottom left corner's got that super rounding on it. The other ones look just like you want them to, and that's probably because it's been trimmed. But even without the trimming, the rest of the card is really nice. Doesn't look like there's any other weird stuff going on. How much is that at right now? Again, it's in 7 days, but $560. All right, that's going to do it for MC Sports Cards this week. We spent almost a half an hour on it. Let's move on to Alt. Alt has some of the biggest items they have ever sold ending Thursday. And what's interesting, again, since Alt is weekly, just like MC Sports Cards, when they have their weekly auction, whether it's Christmas or New Year's or around that time, sometimes you're going to see some big stuff. And this is one of their biggest auctions ever, and it's not hard to see why. Look at those first 2 cards. We're going to take a second with each of these. Okay. First up, the Steph Curry NTRPA. The Steph Curry NT RPA. Let me show you guys something real quick. I think it's in this issue. Hold on. Just pulled this issue off my wall here. This issue of Basketball Card Fanatic, and I'm going to make myself big here. So this issue of Basketball Card Fanatic came out in, was it December? In December, so just this month. The January issue is just a few days away from hitting mailboxes. But this issue, I did one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done, and it was on I basically had a bunch of big collectors say what they believed the 25 most iconic cards of the era were. So again, this is the issue. I don't want to show you the whole center section because then you'll have the whole list. What I will show you is card number 3 on the list was this Steph Curry RPA out of 99. And this is what I wrote about the card. I said, how great is it that we finish with 2 Currys and 2 LeBrons? Interestingly, this card is number 2 almost ended in a tie. Totally different, 2 totally different types of cards, but that are viewed as iconic for totally different reasons. What is clear is that other than the LeBron exquisite RPA, this, referring to this Steph Curry, this is the most sought after RPA ever made. We've seen fake patches, autographs wiped away and reapplied in every other issue that you can imagine with this RPA. And that's all true. This card has so much going for it from the perspective of it being from the very beginning of the Panini era. I'm going to add it back right here. From it being not only from the beginning of the Panini era, but the very first ultra high-end set from Panini. We didn't used to have 10 different mega brands. We had one. It was National Treasures. And National Treasures came out just the year after the last year where we got exquisite RPAs, and just a few months after exquisite from 2009 from the same year that didn't have RPAs. We almost didn't get a Steph RPA, but Panini stepped up to the plate, created National Treasures. They made this card, and this card wasn't going to be the big card in the set. Blake Griffin was going to be a big card in the set. He was injured his first year, but people were super hyped about him. And his second year, he was the talk of the town. The rookie year, everybody was looking at guys like Brandon Jennings, guys like Tyreek Evans. Those were the guys that were competing for Rookie of the Year, and so those cards were huge. Steph wasn't that huge of a card. There was a point in time where this card was worth less than Tyreek Evans by quite a bit. There's a point in time where Brandon Jennings was the preferred RPA. But the Steph, I remember thinking, I want a big Steph card. And I looked and I was like, I don't even know if I want an NT, because there was always like 8 or 10 of them on eBay. They were always available. With all that said, you get to today and it's become one of the cards that's the hardest to find, and it's hardest to find, in an auction sort of setting. We don't see one every month. The reason we don't see one every month is because if you're a big time Steph collector, it's like one of the 2 rookie cards. Steph's canon of important cards is like really simple right now, but makes it really complex. You have the NT, like at the high end, you have the NT RPA. It's different variations to 99, which is what this is, to 25 and to 5. And then the Logo Man. And the Logo Man's a multi-million-dollar card and not obtainable. But then there are these ones that are also close to not obtainable at this point because he is so popular. He is behind the big 3. He is clearly number 4, right? It is MJ, Kobe, LeBron, and then Steph. And those are the big 4. If there's nobody who's close, and people are going to be like, Luka's close. Luka is not close, guys. Luka is for all of the new guys, he's definitely the one with the biggest collector base and the guy who's had the most success. But you're looking at a guy who's won 4 championships here. Okay. This is a guy who's changed the game forever. Luka has so much that he has to do to get to the Steph level. And I think Luka's pretty clearly number 5. Steph is the guy, and so highly collected and beloved in other parts of the world, not just the United States. And beyond his 2 big cards, this and the gold refractor out of Chrome, Like, what's his third biggest card? He just doesn't have stuff. He just doesn't. So that's what I love about this card is, like, if you're talking about Steph with people who know cards, one of the only cards that matters is this one. And, we've seen a number of them where the top part of the curve here ends up getting stuck in that patch rut. And as much as I want to tell you that those cards are cool because you can still see the autograph on the patch. And I do think it's kind of cool that, like, you can see that happened. It's definitely an eyesore. This is how you want this autograph to look. Looks exactly like you want it to look. That's why it's got the 10 grade. So you get a really strong patch, 5 colors. You're not paying for all the twists and turns that you have to pay for on other ones, where, like, sometimes the stitching, like, sometimes it changes direction or whatever. But it's strong. It's 3 colors. It's 5 breaks. And then the card's strong too. It's not, there's nothing, like, the corners give you an 8.5, but the rest of the subs are great. And personally like the 8.5 corners. It tells you the card probably hasn't been manipulated or altered in that sort of way. So to me, this is about, like, if I was to go after a card like this, this is probably one that I would go after, because I don't want to pay that massive premium for condition. I don't want to pay the massive premium for the crazy patch, but I do want the autograph to be spot on. That's why it's at 112 grand. After you add the buyer's premium, it's like 135 grand. It's a big, big card. And it's one of the biggest cards that Alt has ever sold. So congratulations to them on being able to auction it off. And I wish I was in a world where I could grab a card like that right now. But if you are a big Steph Curry collector, that is one of the biggest Steph Curry cards in the world. Speaking of biggest cards for players in the world, we will have to spend a few minutes on this LaMelo Ball. Somebody this week on the Alt channel, on one of the pieces of content they did, said something about how the card was probably player worn or whatever. But if you look at the back, it says the enclosed, and sorry, the image is not great here. The enclosed game worn or used material and autograph are guaranteed by Panini America. It's pretty clear language. This patch right here, this Logo Man patch, is from a game used jersey. That's what you want the back of the card to say. That's as good as it gets for Panini. It doesn't say the game, but for them, on big cards like this, you want it to say game used, and that's what it says. So this guy on Instagram said something about how, he's probably player used, and I wrote back, and I tried to do it in a nice way. I was like, flawless in basketball is always game used. I was like, unless I'm mistaken, like, tell me if I'm mistaken. I've never seen a basketball card in flawless that's not game used. And he wrote back, you shouldn't comment if you don't know what you're talking about, or something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I probably do. I've never seen a flawless basketball card where the patch is not game used. But this really highlights a couple things. It highlights when a company like Panini decides to have a brand that's cross sport, and they have something that's a selling point like always game used, they really need to try to keep that consistent even amongst the different sports. You can't have a sport that does all game used and another sport that doesn't. Otherwise, people get confused. So although I believe flawless is always game used in basketball, the fact that it isn't always game used in football has confused people. So I want to get that all out of the way. This is a game used Logo Man. He also has Logo Man autos, I believe, in NT and an Immaculate. Those are the big 3 Logo Man autographs that are like rookie cards. There's only one of them in this game used, though, and that's this one that you're looking at. So then the only question, and it's the biggest question, comes, which is how good is LaMelo? Well, right now, the Hornets aren't very good. But LaMelo's playing really well, right? What are LaMelo's stats right now? LaMelo Ball stats. I mean, yeah, like he's toward the top of the NBA in scoring at 30.1 a game. 30.1. 5 boards, 7.4 assists. I mean, he is running the show there. Those are huge numbers, guys. And some people are going to be like, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Okay, fine. He's putting up 30 7-5. I mean, he's freaking balling right now. Who are the point leaders right now in the NBA? Where does he land? Sorry, guys. Give me just a second here. Is he like number 3 or 4? Oh man, there's some big scores. No, I'm looking at this wrong. Yeah, he is 4th in the league in scoring. And the 3 guys in front of him are Giannis, who's just destroying right now at 32.7 a game, SGA at 31, and Jokic at 30.8. I mean, these are big numbers. And then you've got Ball at 30.1. Nobody's close to Ball, by the way. Let me go back to this. Sorry, got checked out of it. I mean, Jason Tatum's 1.6 points per game lower at 28.5, and then you go all the way to 26.3 at Fox. So really, there's 4 guys at the top of the board that are really just destroying the NBA right now in scoring, and LaMelo's one of them. And this card, I think, has a case for being his best card in existence. Now, I say this sometimes, like, this is this guy's best card. I think people sometimes roll their eyes because there's several different cards that can be considered a best card. I'm just going to tell you which cards can be considered a guy's best card. Right, in my opinion. Right now, for rookies that were made in the last 10 years, you've got the Black Prism. You've got the Black Prism regular rookie card. That is one of the player's best cards. You have the NT Logoman RPA, which historically has been the one that's sold for the most. However, in more recent years, you have the Flawless, which is this card, which is game used. So would you rather have the one that has the more known branding in National Treasures that's a tougher pull because they make less of Flawless than they make of National Treasures? Or would you want the one that's game used? I know a lot of people will tell you, duh, this is easy, Adam. You should want the one that's game used. Okay, that's fine that you feel that way. The NT traditionally has sold for more. Why? And will it always be that way? Those are good questions. I don't know the answers to those things at all. What I do know, this card is beautiful. It is game used. It is a rookie. It's a guy who's averaging 30 points a game right now. And the last thing that I want to check is I want to look at those standings because I don't think they're, as a team, doing great. But between him and Brandon Miller, you sort of have to wonder. I mean, they're not as bad as I thought. Where are they? Yeah, they are. They're 7-24. I mean, they're real bad. They're like the 6th worst team in the league. 5th or the 6th worst team in the league. How good can they be? I don't know, but his stats are awesome right now. I do know that I'm all over the place on this recording. So let's go back here. So that's a second on the LaMelo Ball. Justin Herbert. Oh, this is the 1 of 1. Wait, is it? It is. Now, you want to check the checklist on this one because there's a chance. Contenders is sometimes done like a couple different variations. I'm not saying don't buy it because there's a couple of variations. I don't know why the image is not pulling up the right way right now. But yeah, it's not working. Sorry. Justin Herbert's auto is like always incredible. I don't understand how it's always as perfect as it is. It's 1 of 1. These contenders cards that are like shiny and have the autographs in hand, they look really good in the PSA holder. The autographs of 10, not shocking. You want to go understand how many of those there are. That would be my thing that I would recommend that you go do. Because how many different variations are there? See, this one says Super Bowl 1 of 1. I wonder, is it just all the 1 of 1s are called Super Bowl? Does he have 10? Does he have 1? And football collectors might not know that off the top of their head. I do not. I love this Mahomes card. This is, for me, for a football card, this is probably my favorite card of the auction. I love it because I've always loved the White Sparkle. White Sparkle came out in, is it 2014 or 15? I always get confused on that. I think it's 2015. I should know because I've got a couple of cards, a couple of the first White Sparkle cards. I've got one of Steph and one of Kobe. They didn't come out of the regular Prism packs, though. They came out of a White Sparkle pack, which gave you cards that were just White Sparkle cards. And so when you look at the back, you'll see, oh, it's not serial numbered. I guess it's not rare. No, it's exceedingly rare. Look at the population. There's only 10. Or sorry, there's only 5 10s. Gosh, that's a small number. 5 10s, 7 9s, and an 8. I mean, there's probably, and there might be a couple more that are lower grade or authentic grade, but you're talking about like 16 to 20 total in the PSA pop. And then the BGS pop is like just as low. and there's a lot of cross grades and stuff. There's probably 30 to 40 of this card in existence. And I love the allure that you just don't know exactly how many of them there are, and that Panini's never talked about them. How many of them do you think there are? Go look at the populations, compare them, think about how many of them homes would probably be cross-graded or regraded. How many do you think there are? And if you have any other information on that, please share it with me in the comments. Maybe the most iconic soccer card of all time, and a 9.5, really a tough grade. Let's see what Alt says about the population here. There's 75 9.5s. You can see across the top here, there's like 400 that have been graded. Sorry, 500 graded by Beckett in those top 4 grades. None higher. And then in PSA, you can see there's really low numbers, and then in an 8, it really increases. So what you always say when you look at something like this is, what would this cross to for PSA? Is this a 10? Well, the subs are sure good. There's 110 and 3 9.5s. Is it a 10? It's a 10. It is a huge card. Is it a 9? Even a 9 on this card might be higher than a BGS 9.5. So that's one thing to look at if you are a potential buyer. I always say this every time I see this card or one like it. The cracked ice contenders in the PSA holder with a big autograph. They're really, really nice looking. Seen a few in hand. An Ant, it's one of those guys, right? Shohei, PSA 9, the pitching pose on the blue refractor out of Bowman Chrome. One of the most iconic baseball cards of the last 25 years. Certainly. Would you rather have the Shohei pitching or hitting? Conversation that has been had ad nauseum and will continue. This year, where he didn't pitch, sort of put some of those things in doubt. Jason Tatum. This is a nice card. I love this card so much. So, guys, this card does not have the rookie emblem on it anywhere on the front, but if you look at the top, you can see it's 2017. That is, in fact, Jason Tatum's rookie year. You can see that it's serial numbered out of 10. There's not holofoil around the patch, but what there is a really strong, large patch with a great autograph window, full image of Tatum going down from head to toe. It's really a premium feel. It's also from the Star Swatch Signatures, which is one of the best named autograph patch sets and one of the most premium autograph patch sets of the era. And unlike almost all of his other RPAs, guys, this one, game worn. As I said, in basketball, I just think they're always game worn in Flawless in basketball. They just are. So despite what a lot of people believe, I think it's always game worn in basketball. If I'm wrong on that, or if you have instances you can point to where in basketball, Flawless has done non-game worn stuff, will you please send it to me? Gretzky 8. Let's do the Jeremy Lee Gretzky 8 review here. You can't see on the edges as well as you'd like to here, unfortunately. What you could do, there's a chance. In fact, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to go to PSA real quick, and I'm going to try this cert number. Now, this cert number will only show me the image if it was recently, if it really is like, I think I entered it in wrong. I did. Darn it. Only if it was recently reholdered, because this number right here, I think, is too long ago. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to pop up. Darn it. Sorry, guys. I'm just wasting your time now. What I can see is the oil drop is a little bit to the right, but not as much as we see it sometimes. And the registration on the black lines from this view looks about like I would expect it to. Like to see the edges and corners a little bit better. The back does not give us the 2, or it does give us the 2 blue lines. It looks like at least one of them. I think it's 2. Love the brightness around the edges. I just wish we could see it a little bit closer. But it's the card, right? In hockey, that's the card. Jordan 9. Let's look at the subs on this. I'm taking too long here. I got to move on. Ooh, pretty nice. Corners 8.5. A couple 9.5s on there. Centering of a 9. Nice card. All right. I got to keep moving here. Oh, man. I have not covered very much area. I just talked ad nauseum here. Steph patch, almost looks like a Trailblazers uniform. Flawless autograph patch is a big deal. Michael Jordan, I don't know why this like little black is showing through. No, this looks better. This image looks better. Look at that. Isn't that just a glorious card? Love the pinholes, the holofoil. Just a great card. Anthony Edwards, 8 of 8. The really interesting thing about that you'll see in this auction is that all of the all of the LeBron James exclusive cards from like the players box set that Exquisite made in 2007, it's all in this auction, but it's all been separated. And that's a unique choice to make for somebody at this point. It's hard to find those cards all together. And so somebody, 18 years or 17 years after this product came out is now finally breaking up the box. So here's this LeBron. If you scroll down, you'll see here's this LeBron. If you scroll down a little bit more, you'll find the box, and you'll find the there's one more card in there that's like just a patch. And we could go search it, but I'm not going to go through all of them. But somewhere in here, if you search LeBron, you'll see all the cards from that case. They're all in here. Oh, there's the one that's just the autograph. I think I already showed you that one though. Yeah. This is the best card from the box because it's the autograph patch. And it's a really strong patch. Vibrate 3-color. The autograph looks good. Card's graded a 6. That bothers some people. That just does not bother me in any way, shape, or form. Man, I love this card. I think this has got to go up quite a bit. It's a really nice patch. It's a great looking signature. Some people maybe don't like that it has the writing behind the signature, but that's how this card was made. It's a really nice size patch with an autograph, number to 23, for anything in this realm. I think it's going to sell for quite a bit more than this. And again, the 6th grade, I don't care. This is one where the PSA image will help us, though. I do want to go look at that real quick because I just like taking way too much time on these things. Sorry, guys. 6805-3337. Okay. Yeah, we get the images here. Let's go look at the PSA images and see how much they help us. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is helpful. Although this is not PSA's best work here. I'm going to download. Oh, my goodness, guys. What are we doing? This is like got to be the worst PSA image I have ever seen. Here I am talking about how good their images are, and then this one is like not great. It's still instructive though. You can see the white around the edges here that you can't really see as well on Alt. Alt has gone with the white background on cards, which allows them to do some things that I really like and makes some of their images really good. And on others, I feel like it makes it so you can't see the edges as well as you'd like to. In general, I like it. I think it's good. It sort of sets them apart and is doing something that's different. But in general, I just want high res images. Excuse me. We're seeing less of that these days. I think it's because it takes a lot of time and money to get really high res images, and auction houses, understandably, like any company, are looking for ways to, differentiate and ways to, save money. But I think I wish PSA's image was better here. I wish Alt's image was better here. But it doesn't really matter. We know what we've got. We can see the autograph and the patch. We know what it's numbered out of. We know it's a 6. We know probably why. Trust PSA for that. I would love to own this card. That's what the bottom line is. I would really love to own this card. And I think that number is too low. But we'll watch it. Let's see if it doesn't go up. Maybe I'll have to bid on it. Mahomes rookie autograph from Prism. That is a killer card. Chet Holmgren, man, has a chance to be so good. Just got to get that guy healthy. Anthony Edwards in a PSA 10 on the blank slate. Boy, some great stuff this week at Alt. There's some Kobe's down here, too, that I just love. Oh, look, the Steph Black Gold. Steph stuff is on Prism is just on fire right now. But the Black Gold, I wonder how that one will do. Kobe 3-color flawless patch 2013. I mean, it's playing days card, and it's also just the 2nd year of flawless. This is the 2nd year that they did those jumbo patches. And Kobe does not have a jumbo patch from 2012, does he? That is the very first jumbo patch of Kobe Bryant from Flawless. It's kind of cool. It's really cool. That may go on my top 10 post this week. All right, let's keep going here. Rockstar's Refractor of MJ. Gold medalist, dual USA card. Kobe does not have a lot of USA stuff. Oh, I love this. I love this. I love Eminence, and Luka is obviously not in the first year of Eminence because before he came in the league. I haven't seen too much Luka Eminence stuff. I'd love to look and see how much he's had. That's a cool looking card. What's the back look like? Game used and autograph are guaranteed by Panini. That's a cool card. It's a 1304. Luka's injury makes you think, doesn't it? I was going to buy one Luka. That might not be a bad one for me to go after, though. Black Finite. This is Jamar Chase. It's a flashback. This Kobe autograph's cool. Is this on card or is it on sticker? Haha, it's on card. Looks like it's on sticker. They tried to trick you here, it looks like. Trying to trick you in the wrong direction. I wish we could turn this sideways, but look how Kobe's autograph, which is upside down here, because they had to choose, when they did this, they had to choose, am I going to put the grade at the top, or am I going to put the autograph and have the autograph upside down, or am I going to have the autograph right side up with the grade upside down? I think they made the right choice, but it's just too bad that that's the question. This is the gold standard 24 karat autograph. They've done these autographs, or they did these autographs for a while. I don't know how many years they did, but I love the image of Kobe here. I love the big area that Kobe signs. I just wish it didn't look like a sticker. It's not a sticker, though, because look, the autograph goes off here. That's the sort of thing that some people don't pay attention to and they miss. Like, this is an on-card autograph. It's a big, nice Kobe autograph in a Beckett holder that clearly has some wear. Graded a fairly long time ago, back in the 7 millions, probably 10 or more years ago. It's a cool card, man. For a Kobe autograph, it's sort of a little bit different. I like it. Might get it out of that holder, though. I might. And I say that because I don't know. And no matter which holder it's in, I guess if I was these guys, I would have just had, if I was Beckett, I would have had this card in here in another direction. No, I wouldn't have, though. I would have put it in exactly like they put it in, because the back is clearly supposed to face this way. What is this saying down here? Kobe Bryant. This font looked funny to me for a second. It looked like it was saying something else. The R and the Y from this angle looks like it's like a P. It looks like it says BRPANT. But when I zoom in and see it closer, I can see it's an R. I can see it's a Y, although the line comes down on the opposite side here. It still looks like a P to me. But the card is facing the right direction. It's just that when they do that, the side, because this one's sideways, it's because of how it's made, the autograph is then upside down. Kobe signed it the right way, though, because look at where Kobe's name is here. I don't like it when cards sort of, when the manufacturer sort of gets that wrong. But I do like this card as a buying opportunity because I love that the autograph is on card and it doesn't look like it's on card. Could go a little bit cheap. All right, I got to move on here. I want to keep going through the alt stuff. Oh, here's that LeBron box I was telling you guys about. There's the big signature on the big exquisite box, number 13 of 23, which matches the LeBrons up here, which are both 13 out of 23 and 13 out of 23. All right, we're going to move on from alt. We're going to hit Goldin. Gosh, we're already an hour in. I'm so slow. I'm sorry, guys. So if we come into the weekly auction and we sort by highest first, let's see what we get. Reminder that their weekly auction ends on Thursday. And for this auction, the big items we have up front are a 1998 metal box, factory sealed. Could there be PMGs in there? This Kobe Bryant signed Upper Deck authenticated All-Star jersey. The Marvel Doctor Strange card, which is not my world. I'm not going to cover that. CJ Stroud, flawless platinum 1 of 1. Oh, is this the platinum 1 of 1? Like base rookie card? I'm gonna look at that. Now I clicked on it. And I probably can't go anywhere else. Really nice Jackie, 50 Bowman. Derek Jeter bat. Exit page. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time. On Goldin, when I have these other auction sites up, sometimes Goldin gets a little slow for me. Maybe it's because I've just had the same page up for so long, but it airs out for me a little bit like that. Unfortunately, that might be more user error than anything else, though. So we're going to sort by highest again. I do wish I could look at that CJ Stroud. I'm going to try to right click on that and see if that gives me anything. It might just air out again. A lot of people love this Vince Carter. It's from the very beginning of jersey cards, right? The second year Upper Deck ever made jersey cards, and it's from his rookie year, which means it's his first jersey card. It's his rookie jersey card, and they didn't make very many of them. Let's see if it pulls up. Okay, cool. So it's pulling up the Stroud. So Stroud's neat because this is his rookie card, his actual rookie card from Flawless, which is probably numbered to 20. And then this is the best parallel that has the 2 diamonds and is a 1 of 1. I don't know about Stroud. I'm not the biggest football guy, but I do know, like, that's a cool card. When these cards first came out in 2012, to me, the fact that they were the highest end product, there's only one of one. That may not be true anymore. To me, it made them one of their best rookie cards. Like for the Anthony Davis, one of his best rookie cards was his 1 of 1 flawless diamond, in my opinion. I don't know if that is sort of carried out in football. I do like that it's still in the original holder. Some people are like, it's got to be graded. It's got to be in the PSA holder. I just disagree. The flawless stuff where it comes in a holder like this, part of the story is that it came in that holder. And personally, I would rather have it in its original holder. I don't want it taken out. I don't want it touched by human hands. So take that for what it's worth. Oops, sorry. Clicked on the wrong thing there for a second. And then back here, Mantle Ball, really nice Bowman Brady in a 9.5 grade. Really cool Bird Magic dual patch here, dual autograph, silver on black is so nice. An Illusions case, a nice Mickey Mantle with the gray back. I always like these different variations. It's fun to look at the pop reports. The Skybox Series 2. Interesting. The Series 2 possible star rubies. Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain on the same ball. I love this Tom Brady. We saw one of these recently. Hadn't seen one in a long time, and then saw a really high grade one recently. That might provide a good opportunity for a lower grade PSA 5 here. I used to have one of these cards of Anthony Davis. This is the Modern Marks. Modern Marks autographs out of past and present were pretty tough. Be interesting to see how many of those Kobe's there are in the pop report. I'll bet there are not a lot. The old school 08 PMG red of Shaq there. He's still an active player right there as a member of the Suns. It's kind of cool. Let's highlight one more card before we move on. So much good stuff. I want to pick the right one, though. So this is kind of an interesting one to highlight. I wonder, I'm clicking this thing again that I probably shouldn't be clicking. I wonder if PSA will start grading this year of Star MJs at some point. Because if they do, we will very likely see a bump in those ones too. But since they haven't started grading them, we're sort of still left to wait and wonder whether they will ever be graded. You can see this is a fairly new BGS holder, although the BGS holder clearly has some scratches on it. This is the checklist from the Michael Jordan set. There's 10 different Michael Jordan cards in the set. They're not with me, but I have 2 of these cards from this set. And I just sort of keep wondering, is PSA going to ever grade these? Because, I mean, look, this is a fairly new grade. It's got 1/8, which is on the edges. The edges actually look pretty nice to me, except for on the back. You'll see them yellow. It's pretty common on these cards. And I don't know how PSA treats that yellowing. The rest of the cards just looks really nice. Really, really nice. Spot on. But yeah, imagine if that ends up in a PSA 8 holder. What will that be worth? It's one of those things that we wonder about. But they haven't started grading them yet. At least they hadn't as of when I looked last, which was like a month or two ago. All right. Let's go now to the Fanatics Collect weekly auction, which has a huge Wembanyama right here up top, which we'll cover here in a second. I want to look at this Pippen red. I want to look at this Kobe credentials. This Kobe right here, the Atomic Refractor, is so nice looking in person. I love these cards in person. There is an autograph version of this card that is a Kobe Grail. This is not that, but it's almost, I mean, it's so rare. Pop 14. MJ Auto on the Wizards, which we've started to see those get a little bit of a bump recently. I saw Nat mention on his Twitter that he has found a love for MJ Wizard stuff recently. I'm saying that the wrong way. He said, I've just been more interested in these cards recently. I've always loved MJ's Wizard stuff. I've always loved it. It's playing days MJ. Yes, I know he's not wearing a Bulls uniform, but it turns out he didn't end up playing his whole career with the Bulls. He played 2 years with the Wizards. These cards were signed during those years. I think they're underrated. The only thing I don't like about this one is it's one of these cards where you get the stuff that's written underneath the autograph. I just wish they wouldn't have done that. But it's still a great looking card. It's high grade. There's not very many of them. LeBron auto from his rookie year. Really nice. I would rather have this LeBron than this MJ. I'd say that. For me, by quite a bit. Even though MJ's autograph is nicer, I think this is a more significant card for LeBron than this is for MJ. Just my take. Neat MJ autograph right here. Look at that old BGS holder. It's different. They did these for just a little bit. Actually, let's look at that one closer. I right-clicked on that. I don't know why that navigated away from me. Yeah, in the 2 millionth. What's the great date graded on this one? Gotta look at this one real quick. Beckett graded card lookup. So the grade dated on this one, or the date graded, excuse me. Yeah, October 16th, 2003. That's what I thought. Guys, this card was graded basically like in the months after it came out. I love that. Makes me want to buy this card. I do. I really like this card. It's one you don't see very often. It's true playing days. It's actually serial numbered. It was graded forever ago. It's got a 10 autograph. Been well preserved. Hasn't been left out in the light. It's got a sweet old holder that you very rarely see. They just didn't do these holders for very long. Yeah, I'm a fan of that card. I am a fan of that card. All right, before we move on to some of those others, let's just keep coming through here for a second. I love cut autographs, but mostly the older cut autographs. I don't love these newer ones as much. I like when they were back and they were innovative. NBA Gold on this PSA 10, Jordan Warp Speed. Not a tough insert, but a tough insert in that grade. One of the best Kobe rookie cards. So this is my list of Kobe rookie cards. You ready for it? Number 1 is the Chrome Refractor. Number 2 is the EX Credentials, which we'll see here in a second. I just pulled that up. Number 3 is the Flair Showcase Rose Zero. This is one of the nicest cards ever made, and in hand is glorious. I don't count the other 2 Showcase rookie autograph or rookie cards in this list because I don't want other cards that are like right next to each other sort of competing. So I just think about the Rose Zero being the best one, and so it gets the 3rd spot. For me, number 4 is where it gets a little bit tough, and it's between this card, which I will pull up here. It is between this card and the Finest Gold Refractor. Now, people are going to say, oh, the Finest is so much better. I think I'm partial to this one, and I think I'm partial to this one because I think this card's a lot tougher card in terms of total quantity than the Finest. I might be mistaken on that, but Atomics were just tougher. And that year with the Gold Refractors, there just weren't very many people on that checklist. It'd be interesting to compare the two. They both do have greening issues and other issues. This one's a 9.5 though, man. It's a really nice card. It's a really nice Kobe rookie. Yeah, probably is going to suffer a lot more than that. I've always liked it though. I still like it. Another Kobe here that is worth talking about. 97 gives us like the best parallels ever, the most beloved parallels ever, the great EX essential credentials that add up to 81 total. Kobe has 8 in the now series and 72 in the future series, or 73 in the future series. And then you've got, PMGs and PMG champs and rubies. And then in the middle of all of them, you have this super rave set, which was incredibly difficult to find. And if you look at the back, you can see that the card is serial numbered. I don't know why it's totally crapping out on me right now. You can see the card's serial numbered to 50. So that makes it like just as rare. And actually, I think it's probably quite a bit rarer than some of the other cards that are numbered to 50, because the Z-Force was so low, so low end. But really the difference in the card is the serial number on the back and then this foiling around Superman, sort of like the foiling that we saw on rubies the next year. And then the serial number down here. Like, that's the only difference. This was number 24, which is kind of cool because that ended up being his jersey number. But for how rare it is, for being a Fleer card, it sells for just way less than other serial number cards of that year did. And to me, why does it sell for less? It sells for less because it's less interesting. It's just less interesting than like a Credentials or a Rubies or a PMG. But it's just as rare. It's every bit as rare as like the PMG Champ. And it's from the same season. And it's going to sell for 10% of the price or less. So that's kind of cool thing to look at if you want a really rare Kobe from the era, because at some point it may become not as much about aesthetics. Maybe it will always be as much about aesthetics. Maybe it would be even less, or maybe even more. But for now, it's just priced so much less than those other ones. I want to check the pop on this Jordan. So I'm going to right click on that guy right there. I think it's actually a little bit of a higher pop. I want to right click on this Alifa Boulanger. I want to check the pop on that one too. And then we're going to stop there because we've done so much here now that we've got to really look up. Let me just scroll through real quick, make sure there's not anything else that I like this Kobe. I love that auto glass year. Gotta love these. I found an original article in Beckett about this. Not the article, but the first time it was listed, it mentioned the 10% being in gold. I would pull that out real quick if I could, but it would take too long. Okay, let's start with the Alifa Boulanger. So this one in a 1, obviously not a perfect card. And this is one of the newer graded ones in the 10 millions. You can see big creasing along the top. Ooh, huge here along the middle. Not every card that receives a 1 is a 1, though. There are cards that are graded authentic that are not enabled to get a 1. So even in this condition, though, how rare is this card? PSA cert. Oh man, I'm taking too long on this video, guys. 1000-69543. The Alifa Boulanger. It's a pop 32 with 140 higher. And then how many authentics are there? There are 13 authentics. So there's 190 almost total of this card. And, of those 190, 140 are graded higher. How do you guys feel about that? It's the most iconic vintage soccer card. The most iconic vintage soccer card in existence. And it has that level of rarity. It is 3 times more plentiful than the T206 Wagner-ish. 3 to 4 times more plentiful. Does that mean anything? Is it worth making that comparison? Am I up in the night for even making that comparison? It's worth thinking about. Okay, so I wanted to look at now this Jordan, the population on it. Why? Because we see it a lot, but I want to see what PSA tells us here, because they may have some data that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to bring this over here. There are 146 of this card. It's graded a long time ago, right? It's in the 6 millions. Like, this was graded a long time ago. There are actually 146 of them. It is not a super rare card. It is the second Michael Jordan refractor ever. But when we come into here, what I want to see is this. We can see, so for Jordan, there's all this stuff is listed, right? 331 with a 23 prototype, 331 with a 23 prototype with coating, the refractor with coating, and then just with coating. So all these different versions, right? For me, the best one is the prototype because it's the rarest. You can see on this card, it has the number 45. Well, there are some that were prototypes. They're not believed to ever been made it into packs, but if they did make it into pack, whether they did or they didn't, there's some where the number 23 was here, and it's not clear to me whether this is a Photoshop job of putting the 45 on a 23 picture, or if the prototype was where they put the number 23 on a number 45 image of MJ. I don't really know. Those ones are really rare, though. You can see there's only 2 of them. They're both graded authentic. And then there's only 5 with coating, and they're all graded authentic. None of them have a numeric grade. Then you have the base card without coating. 1,200 of those have been graded. Okay, then you have the refractor. So PSA has graded a total of, 1,700-ish of the card. One of the more, I think, cracked and regraded cards ever, because a lot of people like to pull off the coating, and a lot of people like to pull off the coating recently. And so, some amount of these 597 were previously these 1,100 right here. And the question that I have is how does a with coating sell compared to a regular or one without coating? It's interesting because there's over 3 times the number of PSA 10s with coating, and most of them are like this one that were graded a long time ago. I'm going to tell you right now, if you crack this out and regrade it as it is, I don't think it gets close to a 10. And it's because cards with coating over the last 5 years, it seems like they've gotten more and more difficult on those cards. The coating makes it almost impossible to get a 10. And so if you want to get a high grade, you almost have to crack it, peel it, and then go for the 10. And you can see this old, my first cards I ever got graded had this sticker on the back. This card was probably graded 22, 23 years ago, 20 to 25 years ago, something like that. It was this for a while, but then they switched this sticker to being another version. Again, all the way back in the 6s. And remember, now we're at like 100 and something. So this isn't like the first 5% of the cards that PSA ever graded. I just wonder, I know I'm sort of rambling here. I sort of wonder what the true number is here. And I wonder how the market currently values the two against each other. Would you rather have one that has coating or one that doesn't? I guess that's what my question is distilled down to, especially considering that so many with peel have been cracked to try to get the 10 without a peel. All right. Those are my thoughts on that. We're going to get out of that one now. Go check out. We already talked about this Kobe. I wanted to look at the pop report. I'm going to skip it. No, I'm not going to skip it. I don't want to skip it. I can never not do something once I sort of said I'm going to try this. So I'm just going to go here to the Beckett report, and I'm going to come in here, show you guys 9.5. There's 55 of them. There's 3 10s. Go compare that to the gold finest. I don't, and then compare the total pop, right? The total pop has 236. It's like similar to the chrome. It's a great looking card too. One thing that I've always thought sort of hurts it, although it looks like a base card both on the front and the back, it's like numbered like it's an insert. You guys ever notice this? R23. It's numbered like it's an insert. Believe the images are from the photo shoot. Wait a second. Is it? I wonder, is this the arm that has the cast on it? It looks like it's in a game because it's got the guys behind him. I thought it was a photo shoot. The back looks more like a photo shoot than the front does, though. Anyway, remember he had a cast on in his photo shoot images. As my friend PJ pointed out to me a couple years ago. All right, let's go now to this. And this is a card I have to highlight. It's obviously like the biggest card of the auction, right? There are 10 of these. There are 10 different foil fractors. And if you look at all of the Mercury that he signed, I think it's 3,000 autograph jersey cards. And there's all these different variations. Each of the 10 cards basically has 300 different types or different variations in total. Like there's ones out of 50 and ones out of 25. And they all add up to 300 total for Wemby. And the best 10 are the 10 foil fractors. Well, I love the foil fractor because I think it looks like a super fractor. I do think it's a really clean, nice design. You can tell pretty easily on this one that it's not licensed. You do see that. But the piece here is really a nice one. The only one that I think is probably nicer than this one is the one that has the Jumpman on it, the MJ Jumpman. This one's probably second because that is a logo men tag. And then what I love here, check this out. So you see the size, you see the logo men tag, you see the autograph's actually pretty nice. Sometimes this swoop sort of makes it so that the whole thing gets a little bit streaky. This one does have a little streak here in the end on this, and it goes through the one line. But for Wemby, that's pretty darn sharp as far as an autograph goes. Scrolling, see, Fanatics Collect has done a great job on this imaging. I don't know what this is. I think that's probably on the holder, but I don't know for sure. Looks to me like that's on the holder. I don't know for sure. But the thing that I love, check this out. So 12 dash, I don't know this for sure. I haven't checked it, but I'll bet if we look at the back, yep, check it out, guys. The material embedded in this card was worn by Victor Wembanyama on 12/11/2023, his rookie season. You can go look at that date, see how he did on that game. It's really cool. But what I love here is like, well, guess what? This part of the jersey actually corroborates that. Like, that's neat. That's a neat detail. This you can see is from a December jersey because it's dated December something. And it's probably a dash with then an 11 on the other side. I wonder if the other part of this logo men tag is another one of the 10 foil fractors. It's cool. It's really, really cool. All right, we got just a couple of cards more. The red Scotty, I want to look at this one because I just want to point out to you guys, some of these cards, some of these original PMGs, look at those edges. This is how they came. It's how they came out of the pack. And they always are worse on the front than they are on the back. That's how I would want one of these cards. If I was buying a PMG and I wanted the nicest version possible, I'd want to get one like this. With all that shipping and stuff on the edges. It's awesome. Numbered out of 100. Pop 1 of 2, 7 graded higher. Looks beautiful. One of the best Scottie Pippen cards in the world. And then I was talking about key Kobe rookies. A card that I think is pretty easy to argue is the best one, right? One of the first 2 serial numbered cards ever made. And I believe, I was looking at this recently, I believe EX came out before Showcase. I'm going to look that up later today. I need to know that. Might be the very first serial numbered Kobe Bryant card ever. 8.5 is a strong grade on this card. I have this card. Mine is a PSA Authentic holder. Why? Because so many of these cards are just not in great condition. They just hammered these in production. A lot of them are miscut. Mine's got like this little divot thing right here. But this one, in an 8.5, man, it's glorious. It's just one of those cards that you get in hand and you just sort of admire. All right, that is going to do it for Fanatics Collect for this week. And now we will go to the very final thing that we will be looking at this for this auction. And that is we're going to look at just a few big card hobby items that are up this week. There are some big items ending an auction this week at Card Hobby. And I haven't even looked at it that much. I pulled this up before I started, and my eyes immediately went to this Kawhi, which I've seen in hand before, and I love it, and I want to talk about it. Look at this, 2 big Kobe autographs on either side. This one's the personalized. I think he was supposed to sign something besides his name here, but he just signed his name. I think it's a 1 of 1. We'll look at that. RJ Barrett, Logo Man Auto. Guy's playing pretty well. Kobe dual dual patch auto out of Flawless. That's a really cool card. All right, keep going. Let's take a look at this LeBron. Ooh, look at this Cam Thomas. Gotta check that one out. The gold vinyl. Ooh, Kyrie with the logo mint or with the tag auto. I love Court Kings. Look at that one too. And then let's look at page 2. Wow, on this Kobe patch. Man, I'll tell you, Card Hobby always has like huge patch autos. This has the wrong year on it, my friends. And that is not good for that seller. It might be good for you. Steph Logo Man Auto out of the first year of Eminence. I'm going to stop there. I could keep going. Holy smokes, they've got some big stuff up this week. All right. We have like 8 cards from Card Hobby. That's more than I wanted to do. Okay, let's start with Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard signed this card MVP. It is from 2013 National Treasures. Remember, his rookie card is only from the year before, despite the fact that he was drafted, I believe, in 2011. His rookie card is in 2012 because they did not make rookie cards in 2011. It was a strike or lockout shortened year. And so Panini just said, we're going to do all of our rookie cards next year. So this Kawhi Leonard is made during his second year in the league. And he has signed it. Kawhi, he almost never signs cards. He's got so few autographs. And then he elects to sign an inscription of MVP. The only problem, Kawhi Leonard has never been the MVP of the NBA. However, when he signed this card, the San Antonio Spurs had just won the NBA Finals, where Kawhi Leonard was the MVP of the finals. And I will tell you, if I was a Spurs collector, I would think that's like one of the coolest things out there. Now, I know he, in the end of his time with the Spurs, did not have the best experience. But man, that is so cool. He can't be referencing another MVP because he had never been the MVP of the league. He's never been the MVP of the league. At this point, he's probably never going to be the MVP of the league. He did win a finals MVP for that team pictured there. It's awesome. I got to see. It's going to say game used on the back, I think, too. I think. Game worn material and autograph. I mean, it's awesome, man. Just after his rookie season. And, you know, I know it's already at a big number, but if I was a Kawhi collector, man, that would be the card that I would want to have. All right. I want to see this Kobe personalized real quick because I just want to see if it's 1 of 1. It is. Big, nice autograph, big trophy in hand. Kobe's lone championship or lone MVP award. You wish he would have signed like the year and the fact that he won the award. But if you look at the back here, it says cranking out a league high 23 points. Bryant parlayed his sensational showing into MVP honors. This was his lone MVP. And it's a neat image of him as a 1 of 1. And that's why, you know, although it's like, what's different about it? It's a 1 of 1. It's a great image of Kobe. It's a big, bold autograph. I know it's just an autograph, but it's about as good of an autograph as you're going to find on the card with that image. I wanted to look at this LeBron because we don't see the trilogy big cards very often. And this is that 6 of 25, his future jersey number. I seem to remember there was a little bit more hall foil. I can't tell if there's any on the window here. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's just in the number and in the name. But it's an early LeBron. Right? It's his second year. That means that jersey right there, which is worn by LeBron in a game, this is probably especially because of when Trilogy came out. This has got to be from a rookie year jersey. Cam Thomas just keeps scoring like a crazy man, and this is his autographed gold vinyl rookie card, which is numbered 1 of 1. It's a huge card. It's like a top 5 to 10 Cam Thomas card in the world. The Kyrie is interesting because he didn't play too long for Boston, and it's got that 17 champs right there. And it's numbered 1 out of 2. Flawless started producing the champ tag autographs in 2015-16, and this is 2017-18. So this is the 3rd year of champ tag autos for Flawless. I don't know if Kyrie has any before that. So that's the research that I would do if you're a potential bidder here. It's too bad that he's not part of any of those championships, but they've got to use the jersey somehow. People have sort of objected and said, he had nothing to do with those jerseys. They should just get rid of the patch. So you're telling me they should take a unique part of the NBA jersey and they should throw it away because you don't want it on a card? That's dumb. It represents the Celtics. It represents how many championships the Celtics had won at that point. Now it's 18, which puts them 1 higher than the Lakers. And despite the fact that he was not on any of those championships, I think it's a really cool card. I want to look at this Kobe. I do know that PSA has struggled recently with authenticating some of these types of Kobe autographs, as talked about on Twitter by Auburn35 and a couple of other guys. So that is something worth looking into. Now, with that caveat, Court King's autographs are some of the coolest cards out there. And this is a really new cert. I wouldn't suspect that they're still grading them incorrectly, but I don't know it. And so I would want to see, the grade. And I would want to make sure that this thing is legit. And sometimes you can't tell in hand. If I grab the PSA image, we might be able to tell a little bit better. But what I do want to say is the Court Kings product, for being sort of a little bit of a lower end product, it's just one of the best looking products out there. The foil on this card, the artwork, the signing area, the signature itself by Kobe, it's just a really wonderfully produced card, and it's playing days. And another sort of different type of Kobe, when do you see a patch that looks like that very often? I mean, so many layers, 3 colors, really a premium piece, and it's got to be numbered pretty low. What is it, to 5? Yeah, it's to 5. That's a big Kobe. Now, it's just a patch, in air quotes, and you don't often see just patch cards, and this one's got less than a day left at $2,000, right? How many just patches do you see of Kobe for $2,000? But you sort of get it with this one. There's so much going on there. It's so nice. And then, if you've stayed this long in the video, we're almost done. This might be a treat for you. Okay, so it's not cheap. It's already at $1,700. It's got 3 days to go, but I would invite you to go look at Rare Yao big time autograph patch sales. They don't sell very often. And for some reason, this person on eBay included the wrong year. The wrong year. This is not a 2004. This is a 2003. So it's a huge Yao. I want to look at the penny. I want to look at the PSA image of this card too. This seller here might have hurt themselves quite a bit. Let's go look at this. Just like on eBay, if you are listing a card on your own, you have to make sure you get the images right, you get all the data right. What's weird is it's not showing us any images. And I'm shocked about that because this is in the 80 millions. Cards in the 80 millions always show their images. Why isn't this one? Well, so much for me seeing that image. I wonder if there's a chance if this one will pull up. Probably not. Yeah, it's gone. Long time ago. Well, the reason I wanted to see the images, I want to see what that autograph really looks like. I want to see how blue it is. It looks like it might be a little faded, but I'm not sure. One thing I am sure about, this card is not from 2004. And you better get that right when you list something like this. All right, last card of the day, a card that I used to own very well, might be my old copy. When Eminence, so this will be a fun little quick story. When Eminence came out, I was so excited. I just thought, man, Panini's finally coming out with the ultimate high-end set. They're going to just they're going to put some of the biggest cards ever in this product. They're going to do crazy dual logo man, and they're going to make this thing like the neatest product that they've ever made. And then the preview came out, and we were all so disappointed because they didn't have logo men. They didn't have dual logo men. They didn't have any logo men. The only logo men that they had were these silver ounce logo men and then gold ounce logo men numbered to 1. And I was never a fan of like medals and cards. I just thought it was gimmicky and dumb. Something sort of happened to me in the last 10 years, though. It's like grown on me a little bit. I bought a few of them to sort of check them out. I still have the Kobe from this set. I don't have the Steph anymore. I used to have the Bill Russell gold. I don't have that anymore. But they feel like substantive in your hand. They weigh a lot, not shockingly, because they have an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver in them. The holofoil around the window, the silver window, is really nice. The holofoil on the side is really nice. Steph's autograph is really nice. I don't love that because you want to keep it in its original holder that it sort of obscures how awesome the card is. This is one of those cards that you just want to get out of its case and just show that shine to the world. Because the silver shines, the holofoil shines, the holofoil here shines, the autograph is beautiful. And then the back, like look at the back of the card. Eminence did such a fantastic job of using different types of imaging. It's just all so premium, right? The different image. Look, you can see here though, the case is not perfect. The case has like what looks like a large scratch, and you can see the shadow of it on the white case too. Like that is a scratch that goes all the way from top to bottom. I don't know if there's like any sort of description. I obviously can't read this in the item specifics, but I wonder about that. Oh, look, yeah, they're showing the scratch off. Yep, good job on the lister for showing this off. It might be a scratch. It might be a crack, but it's big. It has the, you know, the shadow that goes through. So maybe it might be in your best interest. And look, there's other scratching over there. Might be in your best interest on this one to just say, you know what? I know people like it in the original case, but darn it, like, I just want to see this thing in its full glory. Because if you pull that thing out and you show it, like in a really clean case, honestly, for me, the best sort of graders of this sort of stuff by far is CGC. CGC's look on cards like this, you want that really like strong, crystal clear look on a really thick case. And I know everybody loves PSA, but CGC's thick cases for showing stuff like this off are by far the best. By far. So it might be worth considering that on this card. What's it at? This is not a high number. This is a low number. First year Eminence. Ugh. I know the case isn't good, but man, I think it goes up from there. I think. I just know what I've been offered on my Kobe. it's a bigger number than this. And Kobe and Steph are the two biggest cards in that set by a long shot. And again, it's the very first year of Eminence. Of all of the silver cards in Eminence, there's like all these different random silver cards. I think that the Logo Man one's the one that stands out the most. Is different. That's why I have that's why I have the Kobe. That's why I have the Bill Russell, because I like that they're different. They stand out as different. All right, guys. I am, as always, the most long-winded, worst at like wrapping up these shows quickly guy in the world. But I hope you enjoyed looking at all the auctions today. It's not a big week. I gave you guys an hour and 38 minutes on all this stuff. If you haven't already, please go follow me on my Instagram at TheReal27Guy. If you have any comments, please leave them here. If you have not liked, please subscribe, please do all those things. Thank you guys for following the show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your year, good rest of your holiday season. And until next time, happy collecting.